Hugh Hewitt from Studio West, joined by former Senator from Missouri, Jim Talent. Good morning, Senator Talent. Good to talk to you. Up, not hearing you, Senator, so someone's got to turn on something. But I'll tell you in the meantime that uh, Kevin McCarthy
I
just
think you
made
can hear
some.
me now. Can you hear
Got you
me
now.
now?
Yeah, thank you.
I said
Kevin
something nice.
McCarthy just. It's okay. We
Sorry.
don't care. It's morning. It's early in the morning. Kevin McCarthy just made some news tweeting out no more proxy voting effective immediately. Members of Congress have to show up to work if they want their vote to count. Your reaction, Senator?
Absolutely essential, because you can't do your job unless you are networking with your colleagues. And you know what, the place where you see the colleagues, as I used to call them, is on the House floor during a vote. So if you want to line up somebody's support for a bill, yeah, you can go over to their office. They may or may not be there. You go down to the floor early during a vote. You know, the votes last 15 minutes. You wait for them to come in, you run up, and you say hi to them. And the other thing about it, is if you're not in Washington, you're not in the middle of everything, you can't do your job. I mean, it should never have gone on as long as it did, the proxy voting.
Well, good for Speaker McCarthy. Now I would like, without any setup, your reaction to GarageGate, the Biden document story.
You know what, my personal takeaway is the chickens are coming home to roost for the Bureau and the DOJ. Their integrity and credibility was hopelessly compromised when they spread falsehoods in order to hurt President Trump during the Mueller investigation, and then suppressed the truth when they convinced the social media companies to censor the Biden laptop, and so nobody believes them anymore. And that's true for the Blue Tribe too. I mean, they'll say they support what they say as long as it helps them politically, but they'll turn on them in a heartbeat. It's a source of great sadness for me. I mean, they're compromised.
I also think the White House press corps has lost the ability to throw a high, hard one, and they're accepting a lot of dross. The obvious question is what was the precipitating event for the search of the Penn Biden Center? And you're a lawyer, I'm a lawyer. I think somebody sent him a subpoena from somewhere. There is this grand jury with Hunter Biden. Do you have any speculation why they would begin to search a center 5 years after it opened up?
It's hard to say, particularly without knowing what it is specifically they were searching for. But here again, we have a problem. You're absolutely right. The press should ask that question. But the White House isn't afraid of the press anymore because the press has lost its credibility with the people, right? In other
Uh,
words, so you blow
yeah.
off you see what I'm saying? This is what happens when people and institutions abandon the norms of impartiality and the standards of the institution. The institution loses its power. But they can start getting it back by asking the right questions.
Now, I'm just going to talk to you as someone who has to move around a lot between Missouri and Washington, D.C. The vice president has to move out of the Naval Observatory in January of 2017. They rent a house in McLean where Dr. and Mrs. Biden and former vice president and Dr. Biden live. They leave that house, they move into the White House in January 2021. Do you expect that all of the contents of the McLean house went to the White House, or did they go into storage somewhere? Because I'm just asking as a homeowner, do you
Right.
think they went to Rehoboth or Wilmington?
Yeah, well, my old stuff's in my basement, of course. I mean, it is a problem what you're going to do with it, but you know the sensitivity with which classified information is
Yes.
handled by people in office. So wherever you're putting the stuff, obviously the rule has to be the classified information is treated differently. Okay, we don't take it and put it in a box someplace. Although I agree with Tom Cotton in terms of the threat to national security, what Hillary Clinton did with an active server was 100 times as dangerous as what either Trump or Biden did. The problem here, of course, is they applied one rule to Trump, and now they're applying a different rule to Biden, and everybody can see it. I mean,
And the
even
only explanation you've got to explain three set the Clinton server, the Trump documents, the Biden documents. The only thing that explains the three fact patterns is that DOJ and FBI want to help Democrats and hurt Republicans.
right, and everybody sees that. I mean, the Democrats and the press see this. They're not saying it because they want to. It's tribalism, but they all know it, which means the DOJ and the FBI, as soon as they start doing something that the blue tribe doesn't like, they're going to turn on them. See, this is the chickens coming home to roost. You
Last question. Have you read this yet this morning in the Washington Post? Inside the White House document strategy and its pitfalls. It's the spoon-fed account of Team Biden as to what happened. It's a classic of the genre.
The only thing I read in the Post right away is your columns. So I'll get to that later.
I'll have another one out today on the now 17 high schools that sat on the National Merit Scholarships. It's up to 17, Jim.
Yeah, and I wish somebody in our party would start talking about this besides you. I mean, I know
Glenn Youngkin is.
Yeah.
Glenn Youngkin is, and boy, are parents going to be angry. Jim Talent on Twitter from the Bipartisan Policy Center. Thank you, my friend. Follow him on Twitter at Jim Talent. Follow me to hour 3 of today's Hugh Hewitt Show.